Hey guys, well, welcome back. Guess what? I'm not working on that Jeep today. I worked on it yesterday. Sorry, I didn't include you guys in for the fiasco we call brakes, but it did not work out the way I wanted it to. So there's no sense of showing you video of it. It was frustrating. So I just said, screw it, I'm not going to shoot it. So if I would have had success, or I was thinking more that I was going to have success, I probably would have shot it, but I didn't. So anyway, we're going to move on to something different today. Totally different, but not really. Something I need to do. Some of you guys I've alluded, as you know, as you can see in the background here, I've got a lot of stuff. You guys can see. There's a lot of stuff in here. I won't try not to stick it in the fan up there. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff in here. So, yeah, I need more room. And, a building would be great. But, yeah, that's a little too expensive. So I had to come up with a plan B. So I used to have a little storage lot where I could keep some stuff. But that ended up turning into a fiasco also. So anyway, I'm looking at trying to buy another piece of property. We're getting closer. But the piece of property is in the middle of nowhere, which is good. Neighbors, no. And, but there's, it's going to need some logging operation. It's going to need some chainsaw work. So, as you know, all my equipment is cutting edge, state of the art, the best you can buy nowadays. No, all my equipment is ancient. So, I got thinking chainsaws. So I got a few. I don't think I've ever really shot videos of. I think I got some videos early on of me working on my dad's 850, which is really kind of a 925 case, but supposedly I don't know what it is. But anyway, I thought, guys, I would show you guys a little tour of the chainsaw collection, because there's a few. And there's probably a couple more here, too, that I can't find. I know I have them, but, So anyway, guys, let's go do that. So we are down cellar. You guys haven't been down here in a while, I don't believe. But, yeah, it hasn't changed much, except I cleaned it up, which is good, because it needed it. It was getting pretty nasty. So yeah, it's looking a little better. I put up some new cabinets over here, or new bin things. And I even cleaned the bench off over there. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. I even painted my table saw. Yeah. And then I cleaned over there. Yeah, you can see the, all that stuff. All that has all been cleaned off. Pretty cool. So anyway, let's show you where I store my saws. Yeah, there's a few under there. Not as big as some of you guys. I know some of you guys have got a boat ton. But there's a few. Yeah, I know. I got water in my basement. It's been raining forever, and it runs down the inside of that door right there. There's also two saws here. Both of these are my runners. Yes, sad but true. So this little guy right here, I found this one on the side of the road. There's a story behind it. I'll share it with you guys in a little bit. But and this is my runner. So these are my two. Out of all those saws, they're the only two that I know will probably run. And that's a probably. So, yeah. So let's look at them and see what they are. And I'll tell you what I know about them. Some of them, you just collect them over the years. Oh, yeah, there's a few parts. Yeah, this one here is almost together, except for a little bit of, yeah, it's got a little rot there. But, yeah, so I picked those out of the dump. So let's set up and talk a little bit about the collection. Let's start out with the runners. So what do we have? We have this little guy. Check out this little guy. Isn't he cute? Yeah. This is a skill saw. You guys might be able to see. Skill saw. Yeah. And I found this on the side of the road. It's got a nice anti-vibrate handle. This is a piece of foam wrapped with some duct tape. But this little saw is the sweetest little saw. If you got to go trim a trail or do something like that, it's the best. So it's got a manual oiler right there, choke, and this thing always runs. I have not started. I bet it would run. I might have to crank my guts out on it, and I don't think there's any gas in it, but I know it'll run because it always does. And it uses junk gas, so I don't know what kind of fuel lines they use, but it's good stuff. The bar, I'll tell you a little bit of story about the bar. So this little bar, I don't know, what is that, like a 12-inch bar maybe, 10-inch? There's a small saw shop about 10 minutes away from here. And they've been in business for a long time. So they have all kinds of old stuff. And they've got a box, bin, wooden crate, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, literally full of chainsaw bars. There's probably 1,000 bars in this thing. So I walk in there, this was probably 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. And I'm like, I need a bar for this little guy. And they were like, wow, oh, I don't know, Skill, we know, So they ended up, well, you can go look in the bin. Oh, okay, I'll go look in the bin. And I'm scared because they pointed me at it and I could see they were overflowing with bars. So I'm like, man, I don't know. This ain't going to be good. There's a lot of bars in there. So I literally reach into that tub and I grab the first bar that looks like might be the right bar. And it's short. It's little. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. It bolts on. It lines up with the adjuster doodinky thing and the oiler. It's the right bar. So I think it cost me $10 maybe for the bar, and I think I bought a new chain because that was so cool that I was able to get, So I bought a brand new chain and a used bar, and it's a Windsor bar. It says hard nose or hard tip or something. It's kind of hard to see, but it does say Windsor bar on it. So, but yeah, this little saw is a great little saw. Throttle's kind of sticky, but I almost want to start it. I don't know if there's any gas in it. I think I ran it out cutting up pallets this fall. It smells like gas, but I don't see any in it, so I'm not going to crank my guts out. Plus, it's going to vibrate and stink up. I'm in the cellar, so it'll stink up the house. So anyway, yeah, so that's the little skill saw. We start out with the little guys. Where can I put, let's put this one over here. Okay, so let's go to the other saw that runs. And this story behind this saw. So as you can see, this one's got a cool little case. Yeah. This saw, the saw that is in here, I don't belong to this case, but it fits perfectly well. It's the exact right length. It sets right in there nice. So you can tell I was cutting with it. So this saw here is a homie. Okay. It's got I think a 16-inch bar. It's a Homelite Easy Automatic. I think these things are, I can't recall what the CCs are, but they're not a lot. But I tell you what, they will cut. They are a great little saw. This one's in really pretty good shape. I bought this from an estate sale. A girl that I worked with, she was, her father had passed away, or maybe it was her mother. I don't recall. Yeah, it might have been the mom. But anyway, they were cleaning out the house. I think the father had already passed away. So this saw was in that collection and of his stuff. And I ended up buying the saw because it was in such, I've beat it up worse than it ever was. It was in really nice shape. So, but yeah, I had to put a fuel line in it because the other one turned to bubble gum. And, but yeah, so the numbers are on this one. So just for posterity purposes, it's a 101, 104 type, serial number 106-30297, and Homelite Division of Textron, and in Port Chester, New York. So the Easy Automatic. So I would say this is probably I'm not sure what year it is. Maybe late 70s, something like that. We'll run the numbers. I actually got a little piece of paper over here just for this purpose. So this is going to be twofold. Not only am I giving you guys a video to stare at, but I'm going to write down easy automatic. And then what did I tell you guys it was? Like I can see it, 106. There, it reflects, 106. I think it was 302. I remember that because of Ford, you know. 97. Okay. So yeah. So this is my other runner. Good little saw. Usually runs pretty good. Sometimes, you know, she's hard to start. But other than that, I noticed I was missing a screw. So let's set this one off to the side. Okay. What's one we going to next? Okay, let's grab this one. Okay, so we have here another super easy automatic. This one here, I believe, is a little bit newer because if you look, this recoil cover is plastic, where that one's metal. It's got the red top on it, so I have a feeling this is probably from the 80s. So what can I tell you about it? Oh yeah, the clutch. She mowed her way right through the side of it, so the bolt and the clutch let loose or whatever, and the clutch bed, I can see the nut sticking right out of it. So this is going to need a little bit of loving, but I picked this up at a yard sale. It does pull over, I'm pretty sure still. I give $5 for it. So the chain ain't in too bad a shape. So let's get the number down on this one. And like I said, I think this one's a 1980s. Oh yeah, she still pulls over. So this one is, and the serial number is S, or the model number is S-EZ-AO, so super easy automatic. And the number, super easy auto. Or the other one I think is just an easy automatic. So that one there might be a little bit. 301 515 19. Okay. So this is this one. It looks like it's got the manual override here for the, you know, the, yeah, that thing. Okay. We're going to have a hell of a mess by the time we get done pulling all these out, aren't we? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got a new saw too. I bought it I didn't buy it actually. The guy gave it to me. This one. It'll probably show up. It's a plastic Homelite it's one of their, you know, consumer homeowner saws, whatever. D455 OB. I don't know what OB is. OB's, I don't know, maybe it's fat. Well, I got that floating around too somewhere. And I got a little one too. One of the Super 2s. I can't find that either. I think I know where it is, but I can't dig it out. Okay, so let's grab this big guy here. Ooh, that's recoil? Oh, wire. Okay, so I'm going to set this one here because this one's heavy. So as you guys can tell, this is not a chainsaw. This is a demo saw. And I picked this one up in the trash. Somebody threw it out. It does pull over. It did. Oh, yeah. Hopefully the spark plug is out. Okay, it is. It's got a little blue paint on it. I must have been painting something blue. But it's got the red plastic cap. So I'm assuming this one's probably in the 80s also. But this one, I think, looking for, I mean, it's right full of concrete dust or whatever they cut with it. I assume concrete. But that chews them right up because it sucks the concrete right into the cylinders and just eats them up. So this one here is probably toasted on the cylinder. Oh yeah, here's some info on it. It's an XL98, according to this, multi-purpose saw. So I guess you can cut multi things, but I don't see any other identification. I got a warning up here, but that's about it. Boy, this one's heavy. Yeah, that's all I got on it. So that's all I know about this one. But I thought maybe I could use it for parts for the 850, because that one there is kind of a sentimental saw. I'll set this one over here. What do we want to dig out next? I don't know. Well, we got an XL12 here. Okay, so here is an XL12. Put it up here. Doesn't say Super XL. It's got the filler in the back, so down here. It doesn't have it up, or the oil fill in the back. This feels like plastic. Yeah, it's plastic. It's got a crack in it. So this is going to be a newer one. It's got the black, the red and black on it. So this is a newer one. It does have a number on it. So let's pull the number on this one. I might have to get a rag. These are getting pretty grungy. Any WD-40 down here spray on them? Nope. There we go. Yeah, this one's got the black tag. So you know it's kind of a newer one. XL12. I think it's 445. The number's stamped kind of funny. So XL12 445 035 23. Okay. And yeah, she's a beauty. Again, I picked this one, I think, out of the junk, or my dad might have picked it up out of the junk. He liked to collect his home lights too. So, oh, she's a little tight, but she turns. So, that's probably a runner. Okay, so this one here, we got just a power head. This one has got the white sticker on it, so this one could be a little bit older. Still got the red cap, so it's not as old as we would like it to be, but they made XL12s forever, guys. They literally did. I think it was like 40 years. So this one here is coming up as a model number one, because I can't, I mean, it looks like an XL12. It's got the rounded handle though. Oh yeah, it says right there, it says Homelite. That could be. Oh, that's a Super. Okay, so there's an example. It says it's a Homelite. Could be changed out though. I think you just change these recoils. So this one here is a Super XL automatic, according to that. So, and it's got the oil fill up here on the top. So, Super XL Auto. And what's the number on that one? It's a 4F. This is the model, or not the model, but you know, serial number 30213. I have no idea what that means, but we'll look it up. So yeah, pulls over, right? I tried it. I think it pulled over. Pretty sure it did. Or was that the other one? I don't know. Yeah, it pulls over. So parts. Okay. This one here is for Arctic use only. Now, So this one's got a story behind it. So one of my subscribers many years ago, back when I was really doing a lot more. I wonder why that doesn't. Oh, because that little metal part. Oh, I was working on fixing that. It's got a new fuel line in it. Huh. So anyway, he saw a video of me working on a saw. I think it was probably the 850. It was an early video. And he messaged me and said, hey, he says, I've got this. He was out in Midwest, I think. Missouri? I don't know. But he says, if you want it, you can have it. Just pay for the shipping. So it cost me like $30 to get it here. But it is an older, like the one I have. And it's showing, it's automatic. It's a 10403A, which I believe is the same as the other one I got. So this one here is a 10403A, and the number is 302420101. Okay, and I think it's an easy automatic. It does have the cushion, which isn't much of a cushion grip. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, he sent that to me for free. It's got a lot of good parts, and it probably will run because it's a Homelite. Okay, so big boys. We get out of those little ones. Let's get some big boys out here. So, what do we have here? Okay, this one is an oldie but a goodie. I believe you can see that this has been changed out. This is direct drive. It's got the single stack muffler on it. This is an older one. It's a blue saw. It does have a tag on it. The tag is indicating a C52. Where'd my rag go? So I'm pretty sure this is a C52. Yeah. So, yeah, C52. You had a lot of these. My dad loved the C50s, C51, C52s. So here's a C52, and the number on it is 327. I don't even know if this one pulls over. It may not. 1733. One of these I didn't think pulled over, but maybe this one does. Oh yeah, no, that one pulls over. So that one probably go. Got a nice long bar on it. I don't know how long, 20 inch. Now this one, okay. This one, she's getting loose. This saw, I remember very well. This saw kept my butt warm for many years when I was a little kid. This is the C51. And I remember my dad using this saw all the time. This was his go-to saw. It was just, it always ran. She was just a good saw. And yep, it says right on it, C51. So let's write this one down. C51, 179, and 656, and a 5. Yeah, if you guys notice, you see that? Yeah, that's a belt hook, guys. Yeah, now my dad, he was a big man. He was about 6'1", and he said he'd hook this on his belt loop and climb. That's a, this is a saw. This is not a climbing saw. Well, back in those days, this is what they climbed with. Look, it's got a hook on it. So, yeah, she's a beast. So, Yeah, check that out. She's weighs about 25 pounds, maybe 30. I don't know. She's heavy. I thought one of these was seized up. I hope it ain't this one. Oh yeah, but I'm not even getting any movement in the recoil. So I'm wondering if something's bound up in that recoil. Usually you'll get a little bit of movement, but yeah, there's nothing there. So hopefully this is just something stupid. The 850, I'll show you, will be one of the last saws I show you. The 850 had that problem when I was a kid. I'll talk about it later when we get to the 850. So, okay. So, we're getting down. I think we only got 4 or 5 left. Okay, guys, here that homeowner saw the guy gave me when I paid $5 for the other one. I got the recoil off it. It's light. That's the only thing it's got going for it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of compression. Actually, it's got pretty good compression. It might run if a guy dinked around with it, and it's got the vibration handles, and yeah, I'm not impressed. It's not a man saw. We got a man saw. Okay, now we're getting in to the saw I need to fix, like sooner than later. This saw, well, I got the parts over there. I'm like, where did all the parts go to this? I got a new ignition for it because the ignition pooped out. This might be the new ignition, but I needed screws or something, or I lost the screws. I don't know. I can't remember, but I got to get back on it. This was one of my dad's favorite saws, but he rarely ever used it because it was blown up, is what he told me. So this is the 850 in the 925 close. So there was a guy in our neighborhood, well, actually it was quite a ways from where I grew up, was closer to his neighborhood when he grew up. It was about a half hour from where I lived, who was the aficionado of Homelite chainsaws. His name was Jim McHale. He's passed away now. Jim knew just about everything you ever wanted to know about a Homelite chainsaw. So what I believe happened, and Dad swears up and down, you can see this thing's been painted red on top of the green, but it does have the green underneath. The red is on top, the green is on the bottom. So this is definitely a green bar or green handle, and the side cover, it says it's an XL 925, but it's got the green handle on it. Dad swore up and down. Now I can't verify it. Maybe there's a way to check the bore or something if I took maybe, I don't know, exhaust off. But anyway, this saw here, he swore was an 850. He bought it as an 850, and he had to take it to Jim's because I think the case leaked. And I'm not sure this has the gas tank that's, oh, you can see it's kind of like welded. And I'm not sure that would have been factory. It looks like somebody brazed this. Maybe some of you guys know. I mean, it looks good. They did a pretty good job. So maybe that was factory. And maybe that was a factory upgrade to have that gas tank compared to the 850 gas tank. But because I think that's what happened, was this saw had some gas tank issues. I think the 850s did have leaky gas tanks. They were just sealed together. So this is supposedly an 850, but I'll be honest with you, the side cover I have says it's a 925. But he swore up and down it was an 850. You guys know your saws, 750, 850s. Those are hot rod saws. So yeah, so the number on this one says it's a 10415, which I think is a XL 925, but I'll write it down. So I'm going to call it the 850 just because. Now I want to run the number on this one. And what I'll do is, I may do is add this into the, so it's a 621T. Oh, 61 621 621 6T. Yeah, 6T 126. Okay. So yeah, this one's got to get done. I don't know what it is. I just know the story with it is when it sat in our garage upstairs forever. And when I was little, I was always looking for stuff to tear apart. Look what I grew up into. So Dad was at work one day, and I'm like, it sat there, and it just called my name. So I said, I got to find out. He said it blew up, and you couldn't pull it over. She wouldn't pull. But it had a little bit of give in the recoil. Like that C51, it doesn't want to give. That's why I'm thinking something's up. But it had a little bit of give. So I was like, something isn't quite right there. So I pulled the recoil off, and the rope was all twisted around inside of it. So I knew that, yeah, let's fix that. So I just rewound the rope and got the rope back on the sheath, and everything was good. Put it back on, pulled right over. So I put some gas in it, and it took a few pulls because she hadn't been started probably 20 years, and that thing fired right up. So when Dad got home from work, I was like, Dad, I worked on your chainsaw. He's like, what chainsaw? I was like, the 850. And he goes, oh, you better not have screwed that up, tore it apart, lost all the parts. And I'm like, no, I did one better. And I went out in the garage, and then I fired it up, and he heard it running, and he come out and look at it. He's like, oh my God, it's running. So yeah, it was pretty cool. He says, I never thought it would run. And then towards when he was trucking, I actually think I may have a picture. If I do, I'll try to put it in. I was going through a lot of pictures. He had a picture of a load of logs on his truck, and he used to carry this saw in his truck if he had to buck one off or shorten her up a little bit or whatever. But yeah, so the guys on the landings and stuff where he would haul the logs, they'd laugh at him, the old man with the old, Homelite, and they got all the huskies and stuff, and but yeah, he says they loved it because it's part of history. It's just part of where chainsaws came from. So so yeah, so that's pretty cool. So this is the 850, or hopefully it's an 850. We don't know what the hell it is. Okay, we'll go in the next two saws that I just acquired recently. The last two saws, I think. Yeah. Let's go with the one that I got first. Okay, this is a man saw again. And this one here, notice I found a blue cover, which needs to be black, but at least Dad had a cover in his collection of Homelite parts. So we have a cover now for it. This saw right here I've been looking for one for a long time, just to say I owned one. This is a 1050. Does it say it on it? Nah, she's pretty well scraped off. But this is a 1050. I run the numbers on it, confirmed that it was a 1050. This is a newer saw. I think it's like a late 70s maybe. Yeah, everything's scraped off here because you slide them in and out of the truck. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. It's got the muffler guard on it. But the numbers on this one are set there for a minute. So I'm going to say it's the 1050 because I know it is because I looked it up. It's a 10139A. And it's a 4G 308. This one might actually be an 80s. 0032. Okay, so yeah. So what's so cool about this behemoth is this is my first 100cc saw. So the 1050s, Super 1050s, automatics, these were 100cc saw. They're very expensive to find them. Guys are getting $200-300 for them, and you know, this one popped up on Facebook Marketplace. Kid not too far from here was working in a junkyard and found it in the junkyard and asked the owners if he could have it or whatever, and they gave it to him. And he knew it was something. There's still even a little bit of orange paint on the bar up here, which is pretty neat. But yeah, he put it on there for 20 bucks. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way. I'm coming. So yeah, I had to have it. So yeah, she's a biggins. You can tell it uses the same cover as the C51, C52, the airbox. I think it's basically the same block, just with a big honking motor on it. You know, 100 cc's is a monster. Okay, last but not least, what do I have? I have this. Check out the bar on that girl. She's all bar. Yeah, that's the whole reason I bought it, was the bar. I'm like, come on. I'm like, that's got to go on the 1050. This bar is, just had a tape measure here. If we measure it from tip to the, that's a 30-inch bar right to there. So I'm pretty sure that's how you measure them. 30-inch bar. And this is a Super XL 925. So like the case, that the 850, if you look here, this is why I said something is funky. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Oh, she's so light. You see that division right there? That seam? This seam has not been welded. The other one's like bubble gummed. Like I welded it. Well, somebody better than me, but still, it's welded. So I have a feeling, yeah, this thing needs a kickstand. Look how heavy she is. She just wants to tip, you know. But yeah, so this one came up in the fall, I think. I found this one. It's got a snazzy wooden block on here on the oiler, on the manual override. So yeah, that's pretty fancy. Well, it is what it is. This actually has, remember Hooten I was telling you guys about? Down the road. It's a local saw. It's got a Dan Hooten sticker on it. I don't think you guys can read it, but it does say H-U-D. So it came from Hooten's. And yeah, so this one is a Terry. Terry are Canadian built saws. Terry Industries. And the stamping is awful. So it's hard to see. But the model number is a 10415 5177 T, again, 305. So yeah, this one was local again. I don't go too far for these guys. I'm not going to spend the money in gas to go get them, unless it was something like really unique or something. But yeah, so it's got the plastic gas tank in the square. It doesn't have the little nubbly ones like the C50 one there does. That's got the C52's got it too. It's got the more curved inset for the knobs. You know, those are old saws. This one here, I believe, come up as a 77 or 78. But I'll put it in the end credits when I run it, I think. So we'll know exactly what saws are which. But this is just something I wanted to do, just to catalog the Homelite collection. Like I said, I do have a Super 2 somewhere floating around. And I know the skill saw is not a Homelite. I don't even know. I think Poulin made it. Maybe a Mac, but I think it was a Poulin. So anyway, guys, yeah, little bit different. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Homelite collection, and if you did, I'd like if you could just hit the like or send me a quick response, or tell your buddy, and or maybe even yourself. Hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. It would help me out a lot. So anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Okay.